Tension is high along Yemen's western coast, where there's been fighting between soldiers from the internationally recognized government and Ansar Allah Houthis. Authorities say that after years of relative calm, the Iranian-backed Ansar Allah group is aiming to advance south to areas outside its control. Positions controlled by the UN-recognized administration have come under attack in the region of Tehama. Yemen's Minister of State says that dozens of government troops and members of the Ansar Allah group were killed in confrontations there, and that government forces are holding on to their areas. 15 government soldiers were killed in battles in the southern part of Hodeidah province. Ansar Allah Houthis rebels control most of that province and have been undertaking a military build-up in recent weeks. The government says that 50 of them were killed and dozens more wounded in some of the latest fighting near the city of Taiz. Meanwhile, protesters have poured onto the streets of the capital Sana'a, staging a rally near the city's main airport. They're demanding the full withdrawal of a blockade on the facility enforced by the Saudi-led coalition and the return of international flights. Let's take you live now to Sana'a. Al Jazeera's Yousef Mawry is live for us in the Yemeni capital. Yousef, how intense are these clashes?
Well, as you mentioned, it's been relatively quiet over the past couple of years. These are surprising attacks, as the government officials describe them, that occurred in the dawn hours and lasted for several hours. One government official describes it as the deadliest attack to have taken place in years. It's an indication of how fragile this ceasefire remains between Yemeni government and the Ansar Allah Houthi group, who control the majority of the southern province of Hodeidah. These are very critical front lines. This area where the clashes are taking place in the district of Houthis in southern Hodeidah, it sits on the road. It's a district that sits on the road of that link between three critical provinces, including the province of Hodeidah, the province of Taiz, and the province of Ibb. Three provinces that the Ansar Allah Houthis and government forces have been fighting for since 2015. And now we're seeing that the seeds of civil war that were planted back in 2015 are beginning to sprout. And now you have both sides trying to gain more territory, especially in the western coastal front of Hodeidah. Whoever controls Hodeidah, or whoever controls the majority of Hodeidah, they have access to the Red Sea. Under the Ansar Allah Houthis' control, they've been successfully able to target cargo ships since 2023. Since October of 2023, they've attacked 228 vessels that they say is linked to the U.S. and linked to Israel. One of those vessels, or one of those cargo ships, was seized back in 2023, and it remains under the capture of the Ansar Allah Houthi. So you can get an indication or an idea why so much clashes are taking place now in this part of Yemen. It's basically whoever controls it has the upper hand. Whoever controls it controls access to the Red Sea, and whoever controls the southern part of Hodeidah, ultimately they controls what goes in and out of the Yemen through the port of Hodeidah and through the port of Mokha, which is the only port in that region that is under the control of the UN-recognized Yemeni government.
Has there been any attempt, Yousef, to restart the talks between the Saudis and Ansar Allah?
There's no talks. It's basically just a ceasefire that was announced since 2022. That ceasefire is now in jeopardy because of the latest tensions. All started when the Iranian flight attempted or successfully landed in the Sana'a International Airport. You were showing footage earlier of the protest that took place at Sana'a International Airport, where basically Yemenis, they want to break this Saudi US-backed siege on Yemen's international airport. It has been closed. It has been suspended since Israel attacked it just a couple of years ago, where they managed to destroy the airport. And not only that, but they also destroyed all of the Yemeni airlines. And now Iran attempted to break that siege Saudi Arabia sent in a couple of fighter jets to try to intercept and to try to divert the Iranian plane from landing at Sana'a International Airport. Of course, that attempt failed, and the Iranian flight managed to land at Sana'a International Airport. And now this is why we're seeing the clashes. Again, it's an indication of how fragile the ceasefire is, a ceasefire that has lasted since 2022. If that ceasefire is no longer in effect, we could very well see Saudi Arabia begin launching military operations, and we could very well see the Yemeni Ansar Allah Houthi group advancing further and advancing to try to capture areas that are under the control of the internationally recognized Yemeni government. So very critical situation. If the situation does not de-escalate, it could very well lead to an all-out civil war.
Al Jazeera's Yousef Mawry reporting live from Yemen's capital, Sana'a. Many thanks indeed, Yousef.